Hello everyone, it's been a while since my last YouTube video, but I'm here again and want to continue work on new stuff and learn some new technologies and languages and building projects that might be interesting for you and definitely interesting for me. So I'm glad that I'm here again with you. So in plans I have kind of to learn and start building projects using React. Also, I want to spend some time on Python. So there are gonna be a lot of videos on those two topics probably. And at least I'm gonna try to record them all the time that I have. Uh, so I hope you will enjoy it. And also I have kind of, as some of you might know, that I have a regular job, also have some freelance projects on which I might spend time, and all other time that I will have, I'm gonna spend on YouTube. So I'm glad. If you have any questions or things to ask, please leave a comment, subscribe if you want, because I hope there will be more videos and we'll learn together. Don't forget about support, yeah. And in today's video, I want to start learning React, and on my opinion, one of the best resource for it is kind of Freecodecamp, because you at the same time practicing and learning, so it's a good thing. And once I finish with React and Redux, I'm gonna build some projects using it, because I need to extend my portfolio, and also it's gonna be a good option in my CV. So enjoy the episode. Thank you. Let the show begin, I assume. So we're gonna start from, as usual. I'm not sure that you hear this noise, but people like to do noise during the night. Okay, so library, we all know. J6 similar to HTML, yep. So what we need to do here, and it's using Babel to compile into JavaScript. Yeah. So, and then it using React DOM render and grab this variable and put it as a root. Okay. So we need to change this to h1. And we need to add, what is it? J6. J6. Hold on. Okay. Go next. Blah blah blah. So what it's talking about, that each J6 element should have a wrapper, and we can't do it without a wrapper and use kind of just siblings without wrapper. Renders a div which contain, okay. We're gonna define new constant J6 which is gonna contain div. I don't like that there are no kind of emmet thing. Emmet really helps, and it's a bit weird how to kind of write it. Have some nesting, I don't know. Is it only here kind of an issue, or we'll see once we start working on our projects. We're gonna see what to use. I'm a newbie with J6 and React, and Redux, I know that it's state management, but I never used it. So there probably it is kind of a good time to start doing it. So when running multiple like this, you can wrap them all in parentheses. Not sure what is, okay, brackets. Okay, so we need to add here h1. Hello. Then gonna use it p. Graph. And this is gonna be ul. And here we're gonna add 3 lists. One second, please. I'm gonna just add something on the background. Have some random music. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Command in JS6. Oh my god. JS6 has its own command. That's a crazy stuff. It's also similar to just regular JavaScript. But yeah, that's a funny stuff that they just added brackets and that's it. Ask me later, please. Okay. Okay, tools. Okay, component to render and target. We need to use kind of their functionality. We're using React DOM and render, and here it's component, but we're gonna have JS6 element, and I assume okay, the code has okay, so we render it, we're using React DOM render, and then we put here JS6, our declaration kind of component. And here we have these brackets. And here we're gonna use the command element by ID, and this challenge not like that. Okay, yeah. We can't. What is the difference, kind of? Is that what they talking here about? So the main difference is that we cannot use class word. Sorry, I need some energy. Okay. Yeah, class is a word in JavaScript and it's reserved, and this gonna be transpiled to JavaScript, so it's not gonna understand what does class word mean. Okay, so we can use class name here. And all naming conventions changed to camel case. As you can see, on click instead of on click without in lowercase, it's gonna be in uppercase. Okay, so here we're gonna use class name equal to like that. That's clear. Self-closing JS6 tags. So as you might know, in HTML there are some tags that do not have kind of begin and end. For example, it could be HR for the line separator, PR to break the sentence, kind of to start from the new line, and they do not have closing tag, so it means that they have just one tag. How does it work in JS6? Any element can be written with a self-closing, and every element must be closed. Actually, div could be written like that. For JS6, it's okay, but you cannot include any text here. So also that means that we can kind of do the same with p tag. You see, but yeah, the problem is that you cannot include anything into it. Okay. Status functional component. Possible. Okay, it's my first component on React, so it's already something. What we need to do here? The two ways to create a component. Okay. Okay, it's, I assume, yeah, just from this information, the two ways to create component in React, and one of them is just declare a function, and that means that it's gonna be stateless as far as I understood. Okay, it can just receive and track data, but do not manage it. So it's a kind of a dump component in Angular, something similar. So dump component in Angular, you just have input and output, but you kind of, and presentation for this data, but you do not manage state or something like that. So something similar, I assume. Okay, so G6 component represents HTML, so we can put several of them together and create. So I assume it just using inside of component more than one kind of another React component, and by this we're gonna be able to achieve some difficult layout or something like that. You could put several. Okay. I'm not sure. I wouldn't say that. It just says that component architecture kind of in React provides an advantage, but the same thing in Angular, Vue, I assume Svelte also, so it's pretty common things. Okay, so we need to return brackets, and here we're gonna add a div, and we're gonna, do we need class something? Just, okay, let's add class name, custom, and custom. Yep. React. Oh, it's another way to define React component, and oh, sorry, it's a bit late on my end, but so we here extend class React component, and we have render function. Okay, let's see. And render function will return our JS6 library. Yeah. And because we extend from component, we have access to some React feature in this class. Constructor, yeah, we call super to pass properties to the class from which we extend. Yeah. Okay, so here we have render, we even return as we did before. Here div again, and here we need to add also h1. And we cannot put what you do not like. Forgot something. What is wrong? Am I blind? Ah, the closing thing. Yeah, I am blind. Sure. Okay. Component with composition. It's just to compose multiple React components. For example, method we could write, okay, we have app, navbar, blah blah blah, because it's not inside of them. Each of these. The simple function child component. Okay, so we have child, and it's gonna be like that. That's it. Yeah. Is it okay because common primary is React, however. Seems nothing super difficult for the moment. Use React to render nested components. Okay. So we have function which return the G16, I assume. Okay. Complement path when you work. Okay. It's they talking about breaking application into small pieces and then combine them together in one bigger layout, so it helps you to differentiate things. That's okay. We're usually doing like that. I think that's fine. Define the code called types of fruit and fruits. Take the types. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna yeah, I'm not sure the types of fruit. So I'm gonna call this one here. Then we're gonna call fruits. Here. Is that what they want? Yeah. So what we did here, we used types of fruit, put it fruits, then it's if we have multiple of them, so yeah. Okay, let's move on. We rendered some components. What is the next one? I did. It's a new one. Okay. Okay, we can render whatever we want inside of other components. Yeah. So in the okay, so we have vegetables. We're gonna add here fruits, I assume. Fruits. What? And where these are the components, we don't have it. I should create them or what? We already have them. Okay, then here we're gonna nest non-citrus and like that. But what? It's not the same if we start from the small one. I did a bit wrong. Should be like that. Okay. Render class component to the DOM. It's the same as it was before, but we doing it in a bit another way. So before we just put j6 variable react DOM dot render, and right now we put here types of food clothing range and document dot get element by id, and here we provide challenge not again. Should be like that. And here we should put also fruits and vegetables. Bit difficult word, but okay. Yeah, the same, but before we created kind of const js6 and then put this element here constant. Right now we're just render the component as it is, with no big difference. Oh, that's gonna be difficult one. Class, so we need to write component from scratch. Then react component like that. Then we should use constructor, and here we might have some props. Then we need to use super, pass these props to the React component, and then we're gonna have render function, which gonna return our h1 tag like that. And here we are doing my first React component like that. And we also need to render it. So for this we're gonna do react dom.render. Here we're gonna pass what we're doing. Okay, here we put my component like that, and again challenge not. Let me copy this to document, get element by id, and challenge not like that. My first, yeah. I thought it would be more difficult for me, but I did it. Oh, pass props to the stateless function component. App which renders okay, which stateless function you can pass a welcome, a user property by writing welcome. Okay, user, and we just defining it. So we have current date and calendar. We're using here current date. Use okay. We're kind of creating custom properties, and then React supports it. Okay, welcome props, hello props user. So here okay, it's a standard way to use these props. And how there are calendar, and current day is the code when rendering calendar from the calendar pass. Okay, then we need to use here date like that, and then we gonna pass here date. We already have an object, I assume, because they say in here date. Okay, what do we have here? Then access the prop in the current competent. Okay, so we do not use these brackets. We need to use curly brackets. So it's gonna be understandable by React and compiler itself, I assume, because in Angular we also, if we need to parse some prop name within square brackets, then the input, and it could be equal to something if it's just a simple text, but if you want to use some property name, we also need to pass them another way. So here it is. We pass in the date inside of this component, and then this should be available here like that, props dot date, and they using okay, seems yeah, like that. Oh, it's not easy to remember everything like that. But okay, from parent to a child, this props or properties. Okay, here we need to pass an array the same way, but just array, not a big deal. Okay, and then we can access these by name and do some manipulations. Also, that's not pretty common for me to write it in plain JavaScript or something like JS6, because I get used kind of to TypeScript itself, so they're a bit difficult for me to do. Okay, list and to do components. So we have list and to do. In the when rendering each list from the to do component, pass task. Okay. So we're gonna pass here a list, and with the name of tasks equal to, let's copy this, same thing, and okay, list inside tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. Here we're gonna access it by props task join everything by comma. Like that, no? List and to do. Okay, when running each list from the to component, pass in the property. Okay. Now maybe I need to use these brackets, but I assume it's not a big deal. Today, but it's okay. Close itself. Oh, okay. Ogdoch 2 should be like that. 3 or more items. Okay. Job. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Not super difficult. Use default props. Okay, we can have okay. So we able to assign default value to props, I assume. This all okay. But we're saying default. Okay, it's by default it's gonna be assigned to this. Okay, and it only uses it if props undefined. So if we do not pass any value, but if we pass null, for example, to it, then it's gonna consider null as a value of property. So yeah, shows shopping cart component define default props on this component which specify a prop items with value of 0. But we're doing this where we're doing outside kind of shopping cart default props equal to items 0, like that. No, where are we doing it? Like that. It's a bit strange that we're doing it kind of out of the const, so we're kind of extending it. I thought it might be kind of something like that. Oh, I don't know. Not obvious thing. Override default props. Okay, with 0 items, but we can quantity equal to. Can we use it like that? Yeah. What I doesn't like the way what we don't like about it. Should have prop of quantity 10, so it has prop. Okay, I haven't read this. So the thing is that if you want to pass the number, we need to use curly brackets instead of just regular brackets, because it's gonna be thinking that it's a string, but we need a number. So to pass number, we need to use curly brackets. Okay, got it. Prop types, props that we expect. Whoa. G6 typings. Okay, prop types. It's a standard thing, prop types, I assume. You can set. Okay. Okay, so it's the same as in TypeScript. We define interface if we know the type of properties that gonna be, for example. So here it's a standard list, I assume, of things that we have. It's a function. That's kind of good that we could say that some of the property is required, kind of. So yeah. Okay, and we need to use func and bool instead of function and boolean. I assume it's also related to compiler. So yeah. And here's the list of prop types. That's okay. So what do we need to do? We need for the items prop types equal to. So we're gonna say that quantity is prop types. It should be number and required number and required. Okay, is required. So we're just saying that the type should be number and is required, like that. Oh no. Define props of the items component to require quantity as a prop and verifies that it's okay, that this quantity number is required. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Is required. Number. Do I need to add this import or what? No. I'm doing wrong. Items, prop types, quantity, prop types number, required. I did the same before, don't know. Usual stuff. Okay. So within itself, use this. Okay, inside of the class, we're gonna use this keyword. Okay. To refer to props, we write it is. So if we create component using ES6 syntaxes and using the class keyword, then we refer to props as these props and variable name. But as you remember, we in function itself, kind of component function, in JS6 we just use like that. Bit different. So what we need to do? So we need a render welcome in the KTs here. Give welcome a prop of name. Okay, here we using name equal to name, and here in strong we're doing this props name. So it should be like that. Yeah. Nothing too difficult. I just a bit struggling with syntaxes at the moment, but seems more or less fine. Here. So here we have a description about what is stateless functional component, and basically it's any function that accepts props and returns JS6. A stateless component is almost the same, but it's a class which extends from React component, but do not use internal state. And stateful component, it's the same class, but which has its own state. And common pattern, as far as I understood in React, it's to use less amount of stateful components and try to kind of have one for one area and to have centralized kind of place where you're working with state. It's almost the same as in Angular. We have dummy and smart components, and dummy, the components we just have input outputs and do not use interact with services, state, and etc. So it's basically almost the same, I would say. And we need to write a camper. For this, so we're gonna use const camper equal to props, gonna be arrow function, and here we're gonna return G6 template, I assume it is, and we're gonna pass into our component like that. Here we're gonna pass name, custom name, like that, and here we're just gonna use it. So we have props name. Yeah, custom name already in place. What else we need to do? We need to use default properties. For this we're gonna define it. We need default props and gonna have name, and it says that we need to use what? Camper bot. Camper. It should be a string. Camper bot. And also we need to add validation. Camper prop types. Here we're gonna define that name. Gonna be prop types green, and it's required like that. And if we want have here property camper bot. Okay, it's just working fine. What we need to do here, stateful component topics is a state, yeah, imported thing. Okay, so if state changes, then we not want to change something in our template and re-render it. That's kind of clear. Fix this. Yeah, should be fine. So okay, to declare it, we're gonna need in constructor to define it, I assume, like that. The state. Okay. Okay, and it's accessible while our component is alive. And do I assign it like that? First name equal. Am I doing it like that? Yeah. So it's straightforward, just a simple object with state name, and that's it for now. Render state in the user interface. Okay, if the component is stateful, we're gonna have access to it into template from template. So we need to the key name. Yeah, we have some of them. Should render an h1. So we create h1 here, and as I understood, we're just doing this state name. Yeah, super basic thing. To track some data, render UI. Okay. Virtual DOM, interact component. Yeah, and kind of important thing here that our state encapsulated only in this component, and other components do not know about this state. Yeah, and we can pass this state name to the child components so they kind of have access to it. Okay, let's move on. Render state in the another way. There's a in a component in the render. You can write JavaScript directly, for example. In the render before. Okay, we can write JavaScript here and then access here. Okay, define a const called name, const name equal this state name, and here okay, we again create an h1, and I assume that we're just doing like that. Yeah, also basic thing. Set state with set state. Okay, set state, I don't know what is it about, so yeah, we'll see. Okay, we have a method called setState, and we can pass an object with key value pairs. The keys. Okay, so we basically pass the same object with updated value. And we can't kind of React. I'm not sure if we can't directly modify it, but React expects that we're gonna use set state. Okay. There's some article. Yeah, I need to read this. How do I understood this? That if we have multiple set state, it's asynchronous, so we cannot define, we cannot rely on other set state updates because it could be done asynchronous, and there's some way how we can avoid this if needed, but it seems it's not super usual thing to deal with. Which has on click. Okay, button has click. There's a okay, this state with set state, and here we need to pass an object, and so we set name rocks. Rocks. Okay. Okay. This thing about button click and binding. Sorry. Yeah, previously we did bind this to button click because it has its own button click has own scope. So without binding, it won't know from where I get this set state. Abstract, okay. Update you clicked. Right now nothing happens. We need here to do this handle click bind this, and here we need to add a click. Click in camel case equal to handle click. No. Do I need to use here also? No. What is wrong? My component should button h1. Okay. Text hello. I'm not sure how to. It seems like I'm doing this correct, but click. Yeah, the same thing. Without this. Okay. Nothing happened. The click happened. This handle click bind this. Kind of again. Seems I'm doing this. Okay. So we reassigning kind of. So we're doing some this down equal to. Yep. use state to toggle an element. I don't know, previous state. Yeah, so we cannot, because of asynchronous, we cannot rely on the previous state. Some comment on YouTube live. Wow. So we need set state a function. So if we want to not just update state but rely on state that we had previously, we need to pass a function which has state and props. Okay, and we can use this thing, which is initialize falsy. Okay, it returns if value is visible. So here, first of all, we need to do need to create function and toggle visibility. I forgot how we're doing this. Okay. A bit difficult for me at the moment. So Google visibility, and here we're doing we need to do this Google visibility equal to this Google visibility bind this, just to call it with correct this point. Then we're doing this set state, and we only need state, so we're doing it like that. And here we changing visibility to state visibility opposite, like that. Yep, now you see me. Work as expected. Good to go. You can design a mock. Okay. So we have state here, increment, decrement, reset. We have 3 different actions. So we need increment, state, and each of them should have access to the state. For this we're doing state dot count increment, like this. I think we can do. And here we're gonna define this and equal to increment bind this. So increment should work. Okay. Here, so we're doing decrement, and we need to do minus minus, and reset is easier because we do not need to pass a function here. We're just doing it this set state and count at 0, like that. Here we're updating this thing. I think it should be like that. Yep. Pretty cool. Create a controlled input. Wow. A lot of text and sounds difficult. What are we gonna do with it? Okay, it's gonna be regarding standard inputs. I think it's when it relied to the standard HTML components such as input, text area, checkbox, select, I think something like that. So, and we want to control their state, but they have their own state in the DOM. So we need somehow to connect them. Control to create control. So we have state initialized and the value for our So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna create handle change. It receives event and please state set state. And we're gonna update input to event target value. And I think we need to, as usual, update this. It's quite boring, not boring, but creating this stuff. I'm not sure. There should be another way, I think, because it's really bothering me. Okay, we have this thing. Handle change, state, set state. So we should have here input. We have value which is equal to the state input. Okay. The text handle method sets input to the log and render its value box. The current state is a single source of truth. Okay, then we need to add here on change and call our function please handle change. Since it is working kind of. Yeah, my wife today told me that I'm using the phrase kind of quite a lot. Okay, controlled form. What is it about? Submit. Showed. Okay. Okay, we can control in the state, handle change, handle submit. We can control when we press submit, also in React and state. You can set type, set submit, controlling the form, sets value and on change. We need to add input value equal to this state input and on change. It's gonna be equal to handle change here event. Just empty. Okay, changeable. Not also to prevent here. So here we're doing event default. For some of you who might not know, this used for in JavaScript to prevent standard behavior of elements in the browser. So for example, if you add these to click when you click on the link attribute, it's not gonna redirect you or something like that. So use this if you want to change the standard behavior of elements in the browser, if you need. Okay. Okay, here we need to add h1. What they want to show. They want to set here submit probably. This state submit like that. No, submit should run a handle which should set the submit. Okay, equal to the current. So we need to do this and set it to state input. It's not wrong. And what is wrong? doing wrong? State. Seems like I'm doing this okay. Set state, bind this, use state. Here it is. I did it in the same way. What is wrong? Set state, state. Submit, handle submit, and change. This on change, this handle change. I do not understand what I'm doing wrong. Usual stuff with me. This, set state, state. Okay. They want to have here brackets. Because I can just return it as it is. Like this, yeah. Oh, finally. Pass state and prove to child. Okay. It's another topic that they were talking about. That we can pass state as property in the child component. So okay, you may where those proofs go. They're talking about that we want this, for example, navbar to have access to the state that we have in the parent component. So we don't want to have several, for example, navbar to have a state, then my app to have a state. It's better to have some common place to store it. Unidirectional data flow, yeah, that state flows in one direction, down to three, yeah. Imagine that you have kind of leaves on a tree, and at the top you have state, and you pass state down, down, down. Okay, so we're gonna have here name equal to the state name, and then here we're gonna use it as name this yeah, we need to use props name. Pass a callback. You can pass state as props to child, but you're not limited to base. And we also can pass the method itself to the child. Are we doing this? So this on change, these props handle change, and these props input. So we should have here we need to use get input component like that, and we need to pass here input should be equal to this state input value, and on change should be equal to handle change. No. Don't forget on this keyword. No. We have also render input. Okay. We'll do like that. Render input, and what we should have here, these props input, and here we also need to pass input, this props input, this state input value. What you don't like here? Change. I need to pass it as handle change. Yeah, did it a bit wrong. That's fine. Usually component will mount. Okay, I've heard of I heard about this method. I don't know. I remember the name of it. Maybe I read some time ago about it. Don't remember, but yeah, I've heard about it. Okay, lifecycle hooks the same as in Angular, but the names here a bit strange. Okay, things to read. Probably it is already removed and it's an old React current version 18.2. Yeah, we don't have it all kind of at the moment before the render. Okay. Component did mount also at some point. Component did mount after something happened. It's updating state. And any calls to state here will retrigger render. So it's a place where we can update state and also re-render our view. Here we just call in users. And listeners. So React provides some events for the browser, which could behave differently in different browsers, but it's the same behavior that we have here. So okay, on click. Listener component method, okay, down. In component git mount, we do document add event listener. Here we're doing handle key down. We attaching this, and then Okay, will unmount, remove the listener. What an error do we have? Ah. And this shows and render. Okay. Another thing, should component update. And it's the same thing as in Angular, that if some updates come, it updates the component itself and all channels. For performance optimization way. Only events. Where do we have only events? It's added in a component. Component only events. Okay. Event values. I assume it's divided by 2. Okay. What should I compare? These props that value divided by next props. But really, is it not correct? Okay, so we taken this props value, so it's current if the value, he did it this brackets even. Okay, like that. Inline styles, okay. Okay, yeah, class name we just talked that we're using camel case, and for class and some other property there another name kind of. Why they using? It's strange that they using double brackets, the same as in Angular for printing the value. Here we add in style equal to double brackets, and we say in color red and font size 22 pixels. Which is yeah, camel case. And that we're using pixels if not if the value not specified, kind of. So here we're defining styles. Should have color purple, then size 40 and border pixels solid purple, like that. And then we why styles what is wrong with it? On this. what you don't like. Nothing changed. That. Styles. Strange a bit. Ah, I got it. That's because we already have an object, so we actually passed in an object. That was my misunderstanding about double curly brackets. Okay. Usual crazy stuff going on with me. Okay, when display is set to false, only ID and button should render. What I need to change? If else. Is it just like that? No. Boolean. Okay. We have two different renders. So if display, then we're doing this, else render without h1. Or I can use we can use it here. Now we can do that. Did I miss some? But how it depends on the if state, I should. Const value to This state I need to check. Yeah. State turning like that, and else in this way. A bit strange, but okay. Not probably the better way to do it. Use and for a more size conditional. Okay, use the condition the markup. Condition and so we're doing like that, display, and always forgot to add this state. It's slightly better. Temporary expression for conditional rendering. Okay, condition expression, yeah. Defined with the components render method. I forgot how should I this state. Okay, equal to forgot how to initialize state. Not sure how. Input and user. Okay. User h like that. Want to go. What is an error? Equal to, yeah. Like that. Okay. Want to go. Okay, temporal. So we're doing like that, I assume. Button 1. Okay. So this will render only if h is empty. This one is always visible or no? Ah, yeah, this always visible. So here, if please state user age less than 18, we render button button 3, else button 2. That no. Button's inner text should be submit. Need to use here mount or something like that. Not sure. I'm a bit stupid with this. On submit we have this state input. Delete that. Doing something wrong. So after submit, yep, we did it. Conditionally from props. Okay, so we need child to make render and it based on the props. Game of chance result. Okay. Has two components, game and the child. First and simple, the randomly returns a different every time it is run. lot of stuff needs to be done here. So we have two components. First you need expression math random. Okay. And where this now? Expression. Okay. Math random. Okay. Render a result. Okay, result is here. What an error. Why? Our results. Okay. We have here. Okay, and pass expression is prop 50-50. 50-50 equal to expression. Like that. Okay. And here, if this drops 50-50, more than, okay, more equal 5, you win. Or you lose. Okay, counter previous state. I think we need to use counter here also. Counter previous state. Seems like that's it. We close to the end of our course finally. Change a condition based on component state. Okay, based on the condition we can change the CSS styles, that's fine. Yeah, we styled, you want to style this for red if user types more than 15, okay. Okay, so style. If this state input length more than 15, then let input style dot border go to like this. Not the most difficult one. Render elements one. Okay, map. Okay, the code has most of the my to-do list. My to-do list, okay. And the bottom, yeah. Okay, we're creating this state equal to user input empty and to do list binary assume render null value. Why do we need to do map? Okay, we want to this state we do list map item to your the it's gonna be strings, yeah. Code sleep bit it is not how it's supposed to be, I think. Items SCL. That's strange. It thinks that it is okay because it changed. Need to do something like that. No. Let's take a look. I did it this way, no? Because I'm doing it, yes. It's strange. Okay. Give sibling elements a unique key attribute. Okay. Of the map. Okay. Unique keys between sequence. Okay. We have an array. With frameworks. It needs to the map to one order, much like in the finish writing the map, call back to return element for each. So we're doing here map. We have element index. Here we're gonna return the element the, and it should has unique index. Maybe key equal to index, something like that. Yep, exactly. To filter an array, yeah, that's clear that we can filter. Render online. So here we're doing filtering first. This state users filter user user dot online, and in this line we need users online dot map user index, and here we doing the same thing, the index, and then misspelled user, and closing the lead tag. What you don't like? State users filter with the error. Probably that we need to have here dot user name. Okay. Strange that it wasn't built successfully till I kind of did this change. The last one, yeah. And this error was rendered to string. The render to string could run on the server, it helps with SEO. That's clear. So we need to do React DOM server, render to string here app. What you don't like? It's strange. But I need to do it in this way, so we cannot pass the I thought that we kind of pass in the class itself, but we calling it as we kind of using in template. Not common for me, at least. Yeah. So we finish with React. Guitar. Haven't posted anything for a long time. Thank you for being with me, who watched the video and this episode. The more things will come as soon as possible. I will try to do at least 2 videos per week. It's gonna be on Wednesday and Sunday. I hope I'm gonna be able to achieve this. We'll see, but I'll try to do my best. At least once I learn some basics of React, I'm gonna try to do some project, and I think I'm gonna post a new video once some piece of the project is ready. Not sure how it goes, but I hope that in the next episode I'll try to do some tasks on Freecodecamp for Redux, and then once I got some basic knowledge, we gonna move further and start working on some projects that I decide, kind of. So thank you for being with me. I'm not sure that you're gonna enjoy this episode because there's probably nothing new for you, but I really like the way it goes. So have a good day, night, evening. See you soon.